We welcome you back. Our continuing coverage of the World Series of Bowling. It's the Motor City Open semifinals. Right now, Bill O'Neill still in pursuit of his first ever Lumber Liquidators PBA title. The number 5 seed with 2 wins already, trying to dispatch number 2 seed Chris Barnes. And he strikes in the 6th. While we were paying bills, O'Neill, an open frame in the 4th. And then in the 5th, leaves the 10-pin, single pin spare, steps up and picks that. Oh, no, he didn't. Can't give Chris Barnes an opening like that. Here is Barnes in the 5th. Guess what he did? He had an open frame as well. In the 6th, he bounced back with a 9 spare. So both guys below where they figured they would be. But again, Randy, we've talked. These oil patterns have been kind of ratcheted up a couple levels.
And there's the adjustment for Bill O'Neill, going to a different bowling ball and backing up the 2 open frames with a double. Take a look at the numbers for Bill O'Neill from match number 1 to match number 2. You can see that he's trying to stay in the general vicinity in between 4th and 5th arrow. And what he's done is he's just changed equipment. Keeping the ball speed up, changing equipment, keeping that same line.
Strike for Barnes, just his 2nd of the match. And Barnes widely considered to be the best bowler in the world.
Well, it's flattering if guys think that I'm the best player in the world. Shockingly, they don't really tell me that. But, you know, I've worked hard, and I followed in the footsteps of the guys in front of me. It's been pretty obvious since I came on tour that versatility is a big key to being successful. And so whether you watch the Norm Dukes, the Walter Rays, the guys that have been successful for 20 years do a lot of different things. And so each year I just try and pick up something that one of these guys does a lot better than I do and try and get better at it.
Yes! Back-to-back jacks. Barnes telling me earlier his goals for the season, 4 wins, and I love this, the No Doubt Player of the Year award.
Let's take a look at the big move that Chris Barnes made early on. I mean, if you look at his laydown in the first frame, his laydown was at the 37.5 board. Remember, there's only 39 boards on the lane. He went from that to laying the ball down at the 10th board. Gigantic move.
Uno, dos, tres for O'Neill. Cuts the deficit to 3.
O'Neill hanging around. Again, there's that ball change, staying in, playing that deep inside line that he's comfortable with, that he's had success with all day. Looking to take the lead right here in the 9th frame. Looking for a 4-bagger.
See what the 2 can max out at.
You just hit me.
Hard. Blows up everything but the 10.
Pretty good shot there. Kept the ball in play, hits the pocket, only to leave a flat 10. Maybe just a pinch wide. Remember, he missed a 10-pin earlier in the 5th frame.
Hey, hooray. Nice spare. Jackass.
Doesn't miss that single spare.
Did he just get down on himself right there?
A little bit.
Okay.
And again, want to remind you, next week we're back here at Thunder Bowl for the Cheetah Championship. We present it in an interesting fashion. I'm really looking forward to this show, a documentary type look at the Cheetah Championship, behind the scenes, exclusive interviews. It's really entertaining. And then the following week, Sunday, November 15th at 1 Eastern, it is the Viper Championship. And on that show, the return of the women's series, Rhino Page will be bowling, as will somebody you're going to want to keep your eye on out this season, Ryan Simonelli. Here is Barnes, bottom of the 9th, working on a 2-bagger. Shaking your head right away, weren't you?
Well, it looked left out of his hand the whole way, and
Steady.
so sensitive out that part of the lane. I mean, that's no man's land, and you better be accurate. A nice break there, only leaving the 3-pin. But Chris Barnes had a chance right there to put Bill O'Neill away. Let's see if he lets him off the hook.
Flawless on single pin spares this week, and that continues. So the three of them over the course of the last 3 frames have been identical. Strike, strike, 9 spare.
All right, here's the situation. Chris Barnes leading by 3 can strike out in the 10th frame and shut out Bill O'Neill. Anything less, Bill O'Neill can get up in the 10th and win.
Double wood, 2-8.
And fortunate the 10 pin's not standing with it. Chris Barnes needs to make this, fill the 10th frame, and force Bill O'Neill to double. It's amazing in one game how you take 2 players that shot 257 and 223, and that was O'Neill and Pete Weber, and all of a sudden players are struggling to shoot 200, and that's just all about oil transitioning and the oil pattern just breaking down. And that's a really good spare.
One of those tougher than it looks type spares. As his wife Linda and twin sons watch.
Strike here gives him 183. Bill O'Neill can strike out to shoot 192.
.183 it is for your 2 seed. Chris Barnes does not like it.
Well, that's a big shot, too, on his fill shot, because now that forces Bill O'Neill to double, because Bill O'Neill's down in count. If Chris would have gotten 8 on that fill shot, Bill O'Neill could have gone strike, spare, and won by 1 pin. So very big coming up with that strike on the fill. O'Neill needs 2 and 2 to win.
Chris Barnes has advanced.
Barnes will move on to the title match versus Walter Ray Williams Jr. So Neil rolls out in the 10th.
Chris Barnes, a huge move you made from the first frame to the 3rd frame. Why the gutsy move to move 20 boards to the right?
Well, it was probably pretty big for me. I didn't have a whole lot from in there. Obviously, Bill didn't have much either. The right lane hook's a lot earlier. The left lane's tighter. I missed the early hook in the first frame, and then flat 10, I decided to get out of there. But the right didn't look a whole lot better for me. I'm going to have to figure something out for the next match.
Chris, we appreciate your time. Thank you. And it sets up a dream final to fire up the PBA season. Walter Ray Williams Jr. versus Chris Barnes for the 3rd time in a televised final.